The Golden State Warriors are the most successful NBA team since 2010. 4 titles and 6 finals appearances since 2015, led by a top 10 player ever, a top 3 shooter ever, and an all-time great defensive player with a few years of an all-time great scorer. They've been a model of consistency for most of my time as an NBA fan. But there's one thing that bothers me about them, and it has to do with their young wing Moses Moody. Less about Moody himself, but more about how the Warriors, mainly Steve Kerr, have handled his role with the team, which is what I want to talk about in this video. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 NBA season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Moses Moody. Moses Moody is a 6'5", 211-pound 2-guard with a 7'1" wingspan, giving him an ideal frame for a modern-day guard-wing hybrid. Originally hailing from Little Rock, Arkansas, Moody played his high school basketball in the state for 2 years before transferring to Montverde Academy for his final 2 years of high school basketball. In his senior year, he was a starter on arguably the greatest high school basketball team ever, helping Montverde to a 25-0 record. That season, he played on a loaded team alongside consensus top recruit in the country and future first overall pick Cade Cunningham, consensus top 10 recruit and future Rookie of the Year winner Scotty Barnes, 5-star recruit and future first round pick David Sharp, 5-star sophomore he would be classified up, and future second round pick Caleb Houston, and top 5 ranked sophomore and future first round pick Tariq Whitehead. 6 players who would all eventually be drafted into the NBA, including Moody. Now, Moody himself was underrated as a recruit. He was still a top 100 guy with a ton of D1 offers, so it wasn't like he was under the radar, but his recruiting service consensus index rating was at 40th in the country, which was way too low. He was one of the 10 best players in that recruiting class, and he would prove that by being named SEC Freshman of the Year and First Team All-SEC at Arkansas. I had Moody as my number 7 ranked prospect in the 2021 NBA draft, and I would have considered taking him as high as number 5 to the Magic. But he did end up falling. He fell all the way to the 14th pick because of medical concerns where the Warriors picked him up. Moses Moody has a very polished and well-rounded skill set. He's a great shooter. He can shoot off the catch and movement. He's not an elite creator for himself, but he is capable of doing it. I would definitely say it's something that he can go to, even if it isn't a major strength in his game. He's a good connecting passer, and he's a good defensive player, especially in off-ball and help situations. However, Moody hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities with the Warriors. He's averaged just 4.6 points per game on 45.9, 36.3, 73 splits in 12.4 minutes per game across 115 NBA games in 2 seasons, and he's barely played in the playoffs, averaging just 4.4 points per game on 53.5, 59.1, 83.3 splits in 10.6 minutes per game across 25 playoff games. Now, I will say, even though I think he was ready to contribute as a rookie, I do somewhat understand why he didn't get that much playing time in year 1. The Warriors were contending, they had proven veterans like Otto Porter Jr. contributing, and they won the title that year, so I can't really argue with that. However, what I can bring up is that he probably should have gotten real rotation minutes in his rookie year, and he definitely should have gotten them in year 2. Because He has proven that he's worthy of being a rotation piece in the limited opportunities he's gotten. In his rookie season, Moody started in 11 games. In those 11 games, he averaged 9.1 points per game on 43.6, 43.5, 85.7 splits, and a 59.4 true shooting percentage. That 43.5% from 3 was also on 4.2 3-point attempts per game and 22.6 minutes per game. In his second NBA season, he played in 10 games where he got at least 20 minutes. In those 10 games, he averaged 13.4 points per game on 55.2, 46.8, 88.9 splits, and a 70.6 true shooting percentage. His 46.8 3-point percentage was on 4.7 3-point attempts per game. The Warriors also gave him some stints in the G League, where in 14 games across 2 seasons in the G League, he averaged 26.3 points per game on 46.4, 38.3, 83.7 splits, and a 61.3 true shooting percentage. That 38.3 3-point percentage was on 9.1 3-point attempts per game. So across every opportunity, a more limited role where he still gets real minutes, although it's a small sample size, and in the G League where he's getting way more on-ball reps, he's proven to be good, with a polished skill set that contributes to winning basketball. I don't know why his opportunities are so limited when he's been really good in the opportunities he's gotten. Like, there's no good reason anyone could bring up as to why Anthony Lamb was getting more minutes than him. Moody objectively is a better basketball player at a younger age and a better human being as well. Now, I do have hope that Moody will get consistent rotation minutes this season in year 3. He played real minutes in key games during the 2023 playoffs and showed positive signs in those games, including playing in crunch time in a down-to-the-wire game against the Lakers in round 2. On top of that, he's looked really good through 2 preseason games, averaging 15 points per game on 50-50-75 splits and a 63.1 true shooting percentage in those 2 games. I know it's only preseason, but the numbers and tape line up with what he's shown in limited opportunities when he's gotten real minutes since being drafted into the NBA. So hopefully that's a sign that he will get real minutes in year 3. If he does get 20, 23, maybe even 25 minutes per game, I think he could average around 13 points per game on 48, 40, 80 plus splits, with solid connecting passing and good defense, which would be a really nice boost to have in the rotation for the Warriors this season. But I will say this, there's no excuse to not give Moses Moody a significant role in the rotation this upcoming season, because there was no good excuse for him not to be a consistent rotation player last season. It's not like he's this raw player that needs time to develop and isn't ready to contribute. He's a polished player who's legitimately good at what he's good at. And that's been the case since he's entered the NBA. And what he's good at is a valuable skill set. He's proven whenever he gets opportunity that he's capable of being a reliable player. And to Moody's credit, he's put his head down and has continued to work and improve. He's always been ready whenever his number is called, even if it isn't that often. He hasn't complained much, at least not publicly, like other young players in the Warriors have. Now, I'm not blaming those other young players. I totally understand where that frustration comes from. A lot of these guys were high draft picks. They've been 5-star recruits. They have high expectations, and they aren't getting a chance to prove themselves. And it's on the Warriors for trying this 2 timelines nonsense instead of trading those young players so they can get more opportunities, and the Warriors could get guys who are ready to contribute. But I think it says a lot about Moody that he hasn't really publicly complained, at least not to my knowledge, works to be ready to play as well as he does in those limited opportunities, and his development hasn't been stunted. However, regardless of that, Moody needs to play. There's no way around it. Steve Kerr has no excuse not to play him now, especially when he didn't have any good reason for not playing him that much last season. If Steve Kerr doesn't play him this season, if he's going to pick up a bunch of DMPs and continue to be as good as he's been in the limited opportunities, like in year 1, like in year 2, then trade him. Because at that point, you're just wasting his time. Wasting time that he could be playing and contributing to wins. And a lot of teams would love to have a 21-year-old wing that can shoot, be a connecting passer, and good defender. Moody is a lot better than his 4.6 point per game career average suggests. His numbers work a lot better if he got to play on a team that gave him real opportunity in his first 2 seasons. And it's not just because he will be getting more opportunity on a bad team. It's because he's good. And what he does is something that can contribute to wins. But at the same time, the Warriors could also use a player like Moody. And unlike other teams that would have to trade for him, they already have Moody on their roster. So utilize the clearly good basketball player on your roster. He can help contribute to winning. If you play him real minutes, he will prove to be worth that lottery investment. But if you do what you've done through his first 2 seasons, he eventually is going to get traded or leave in free agency. And he's going to prove what I know and everyone that actually has watched him play knows. And if the Warriors don't utilize this talent, they are going to be kicking themselves for letting him get away. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notify whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the 2024 NBA season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Moses Moody. How good do you think he is? Do you think he should get more opportunity? Let me know all that in the comment section below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.